jokers and the shields are down on that face. And so on a head-on run, a jousting run, I can't imagine that would not be just absolutely freaking awesome.
I think on a jousting run you're better off to put a Gladius in it instead of an Avenger, but that's just me.
Well, no, if all you have is an Avenger.
Oh yeah, that's all you got.
Yeah, a jousting run, fuck that. I'll use a Super Hornet.
Right.
6 fucking games, you know.
But if you put a Gladius and Super Hornet head-to-head in a jousting run, the Gladius will win. Put full power to forward shields. It'll tear into a Super Hornet. You might not kill it the first run, but the way it is today, it would do serious damage.
Now, I don't know, you're talking all power to front shields. I'm not entirely sure that the Gladius would do a lot to the Super Hornet if you put all power to front shields.
Well, I mean, I don't know, but I think it would be more than what Avenger would, but
Well, yeah, it would, but I mean, now the reason I'm saying the Avenger is because talking with Sarah doesn't have a Gladius.
Well,
So just using just the Avenger, no other shit. I think that because of the fixed wings.
Right, it was pack a punch.
But the problem is, I think that sucker punches don't have very good range to them.
Oh no, she needs different guns. She can't run that factory load. The factory loadout sucks dick. It's
Yeah,
a
we've
horrible
kind of
loadout.
recommended trying the Omni loadout. Well, yeah, you were here, Derp.
Right. I mean, ever since they put them sucker punches on that ship, it has sucked ass. I haven't flown it. I didn't like it with the sucker punches. And I don't
It
think,
comes with sucker punches?
or no, it comes with the whatever the heck them stupid little
Bulldogs.
No, I believe it comes with distortion cannons.
Yeah, that's the sucker
Gladius?
punches. That's the Jokers.
Yeah, they come. No, the
Avengers?
Avenger. It comes with those on the wings and the big gun on the nose.
Okay, well, I didn't know it came with those on the wings.
Oh yeah, they were fucking horrible guns. Cause I took them off the Cutlass too.
Well, they're made to disable stuff. That's what that's
Right.
used for.
Yeah, it's made. I'm just saying, as far as a warship, it shouldn't, or trying to actually dogfight, it's a horrible idea. Unless you're in a group, because then you can be knocking down the shields while they're taking it down.
No,
Right.
or if you're in a Hornet and you got that many guns, then it wouldn't hurt to have two. It only
Yeah.
takes a couple of shots, like Ron said, to disable the shield.
Right, but I don't know if I'd put them on a Hornet. I really don't. I mean,
Got me tempted to try it on the nose, on the Canard.
I don't think you can. Can you put size 2 on the nose?
Sucker punches are size 1.
Really? Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think they've only got like a 600 range, so you'd have to get tight to do it. They're like neutron
have-
guns on range.
Yeah, they're like, yeah.
So I mean, that would be a good load if you were to do them, and put neutron cannons on the rest of the ship. That way you're all close range fighting. Get in,
Damn,
blast the shields
dude.
down, and just fucking
But I
rip it
wonder,
to
would
hell.
you have 2 pips, though?
Shouldn't they're both energy weapons? They fire at roughly the same rate.
Oh, it's the rate of fire and the travel of the bolt.
Right,
The
that's
travel
right.
speed of the bolts, so that
I mean,
that does
it wouldn't
Okay,
be that
so-
far off.
So, kind of working backwards is what we're talking about. Sorry, I was on the phone. Thanks for saying that, Krell, for me.
Yep.
You would have 2 pips because it's not just the type of weapon. What determines the pip spread is the velocity of the rounds you're putting out. If one is significantly slower than another one, you're going to have 2 pips, even if they're the exact same thing.
Right.
Between distortion and neutron, they're both very short range. The distortion is faster than the neutron, and they both have the same lifespan. So You would get 2 pips. The distortion's 850 meters a second. The neutrons are a pitiful 700. Okay, that's why they're so hard to aim.
Right.
And they would go very far. Okay, so keeping to work back, you have to remember when you're talking about shields, the shields do not block all incoming damage until they fall. It's not like how Star Trek works. What the shields do is they put in a multiplier to just cut the amount of damage down for as long as they have, you know, as long as they're up. So like,
yeah, so if you're
normally
running like
it
an
would-
Omni, like call it 100% damage, shields are absorbing say 70% of it, and 30% of it's getting through to the hull. Right.
Yeah, but those numbers are greatly skewed from reality. But yeah, like certain
Yeah, I just
shields
use that
can,
for 100 because it's easy. Number to
right,
work
we'll
with.
say you do 100 damage. Forget the damage type. But say you do 100 damage. On average, the shields will let in 80% of it, 70% of it. They're only really blocking 20 or 30%. Or if you take like the splash shields, you know, if you put those on, you're actually adding damage you're taking. You might add 20%, you know, depending on like a damage projectile, you know, that's like a bullet, or if it's energy. So the kind of point to the distortion cannons right now is the reason nobody's using them is they are pretty effective at taking shields down, but there's still like size 3 weapons that can do it faster and are guaranteed hull damage. All the other weapons are guaranteed to do hull damage as long as you hit, like square up and get a good hit.
Yeah, but
And that's the
now,
problem with the shields is when you trade off the weapons to take the shields down, you're still mathematically always going to be better off to just be doing anything that does damage. So
Okay, so the question though is, now, you just compared them to a size 3 weapon. Scratch that. Compare them to this weapon of the same size only.
okay,
Those size
Okay.
1s.
So in Omniski 3,
yeah. So the Omski 3, you're doing 50 damage a hit. I think. Hold on, let me look because I got it right here. I've been putting that.
that's
in.
what you said. So I mean,
Yeah. So you do 50 energy damage and 150 DPS on the Omski 3. You're only doing 130 DPS to the shield only on the Jokers. In the Omski 3s, you know, it's the same old song and dance. You've got the greatest range because they look, you know, 3,000 range base. You know, the easiest time aiming because they're very fast projectiles, 1,500 meters a second. And it just literally gets to the point where there's just no reason to take the Jokers because they don't... If they were to disable parts of the ship when they hit it, that's all anybody would use, right? But all they do right now is knock shields down, so they're completely pointless. They don't even stand up to the M3As, and that's one of the worst guns in the game. The M3As...
Yeah, to me, the M3As and the Bulldogs are tied for, like, shit suckers.
Yeah, they are, but at least the DPS of the Bulldogs is not respectable, but at least it has some. The M3As only do like 110 damage a second, but just because they have at least a tiny bit of alpha, I mean it's like 33 alpha, at least you're still doing hull damage if you hit something, and it's just,
Right.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, and that does make a lot of sense. It
User
really
disconnected
does.
from your channel.
I'm not
Who left?
saying don't try it. I'm just saying there's a reason nobody does it, and it's because the math just never works in the favor of taking down shields and then dealing damage when you could be dealing damage the whole time.
Right.
Now they'll change all that later, but they're not going to change all of that. I mean,
No, but the Jokers are supposed to essentially disable a ship. So it's just that the ability for the Joker to knock the engines offline has not been put in yet.
right, that's not in. Now, and again, they will take shields down because their damage type distortion only damages shields. It's in the files and working. It's just,
Okay.
honestly, you probably,
So
Well,
for an Avenger with the fixed wing mounts, you're probably better off with an Omni loadout over anything else.
yeah, Omni 3s or...
Huh?
That's awesome, Sarah. So the Avenger, I'm sorry. The Avenger still has the size 3 nose if you take the gimbal off, right? Or it is a size 3 nose. Hang on a second. Okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a size 5.
But for right now, we're stuck with size 3. Okay, so
Right.
hold on.
So for size 3, you're stuck between a ballistic or a panther repeater. There's no size 3.
Is it still hard lock to size 1 on the wings? Like you can't get size 2 on?
Yes.
Even the Gladius, you can pull the damn gimbals off and get size 2.
Yeah, if nothing else, I think they should have gimbaled the wings on the Avenger, but left it to where you could not take and put fixed guns on them. But you had to leave them gimbaled. Fixed size or gimbaled size 1, no option for fixed mount. Dickieville. That's funny.
So, and depending on how you play and what your preference is, it's basically when there's 4 builds. There's the all repeater build, so then you're starting with a Panther and then 2 Bulldogs. That'll do 539 DPS. You've got the Omni loadout, you know, 1.6 and 2.3s. That'll do 510. But it's real bursty, you know, because of the heat cycles, so you don't get a lot of sustain on that. You've got, if you swap your nose gun to a GT Series 9 longsword on the wings, that'll do 480 DPS, but it's physical projectiles, so you're always knocking damage out, and you get a lot of good sustain. That's kind of the point to physical stuff right now, ballistics, is you get sustained DPM. The overheating cycles aren't nearly as long in the recharge. Or the stock, if you run the stock and then 2 Series 9s, it's 450 DPS. So it's not a lot, but I mean, that's really kind of the only 4 viable things that I see.
Proximity alert end. Begin scan. Missile.
Hey, Toys.
Yes, sir.
I had somebody request me last night, and I was told to ask on Facebook. I was told to ask you because you like know everybody. Do you know a Harrison Ziegler?
Harrison Ziegler, right?
Okay. Just thought I'd ask because I don't know who they are. I sent them a message asking them who they were. Haven't gotten any replies, so I was just suggesting to ask you because you like friends with, you know, 2/3 of the world. So
Do you know? Well, that's how we are down here in Alabama.
I know.
Do you know what their game name is? Or like
Nope.
an avatar profile or
Pictures, their profile picture is them. I'm assuming. But as far as I can see, there's no other name or anything like that. So,
Oh, not on hand. I mean, it could be somebody, but not on hand.
supervisor at Staples. That's kind of like being the head cashier at Walmart, if I remember right.
You know, you see the joke come up on the TV shows sometimes, but seriously, when I was in college, we'd go to the store every now and again. found an Office Max uniform. So we bought it and we would walk into the store and then pretend we finally got ran out. We had name tag and everything.
Damn.
Oh, they call the cops. Yeah, he comes running out of there. We're in the car outside the parking lot. Doing something.
Hey.
We had fun with that. Go in there on the, you know, the key to it was is you have to do it on a different ship. You can't just keep showing up to the same ship. People ask questions.
Just walk in there with, oh, sorry, go ahead, Tommy.
Oh, I just want to know if anyone knew Kenneth Allen Brocker.
I'll check my friends list.
Yeah, he sent me a friend request. I wish we could put the game name on his fucking profile page.
Kenneth?
Yeah. Kenneth Allen Brocker.
Is he from North Carolina?
No one's been here.
I know a Ken Brocker from North Carolina.
Oh, not on my list.
And he's one of you guys, I'm sure. Well, when I find out, I'll find out. But I don't just accept any friends. I get a lot from people. Well, I'm living in anyway, okay,
You're good, dude.
Oh, you're fine, man. You're fine.
You're even on top of the discussion, which is how many people.
Yeah, well, we should pass the word, because we can now add to our name. I always hated the fact that I use my real name in my Facebook profile, but then, they say that it's a good idea, but then now we can differentiate what gaming
Right. Yeah, I got mine in my name, so because see, like when somebody requests me, I don't usually go look at their profile, so therefore I don't see that other name in parentheses. So this way, people see my name, my game name, in my name when it requests them.
Yeah, I do, and then I go turn off notifications, man, because I don't want to get notifications for everything someone posts.
But I gotta step away for a little bit. I gotta make a phone call, so I'll be back.
I've yet to complete a battle royale, man. It freezes up on me.
User left your channel.
I have to control alt delete out. Pissing me off because I'm doing good. And all of a sudden, I'm starting to notice that it always happens when someone hits me and I'm sitting there spinning.
Aegis combat system activated. Systems green. Proximity alert end. Begin scan. Contact. Begin scan. Contact. Begin scan. Begin scan. Contact. Command drop. Chaff ready. Chaff drop. Begin scan. Contact. Contact. Shield under fire. Shields recharging. Begin scan. Shields recharging. Air shield under fire. Air shield 25%. Air shield under fire. Tower shield under fire. Proximity command. Shields recharging. Contact. Begin scan. Air shield under fire. Chaff drop. Land ready. Land tracker. Air shield under fire. Shield under fire. Shields recharging. Begin scan. Contact. Proximity alert. Headed. Ammo low. Contact. Begin scan. Contact. Shields on. Shields recharging. Begin scan. Contact. Begin scan. Shields on. Proximity alert. Headed. Contact. Begin scan. Final kill for begin scan. Contact. Begin scan. Contact. Begin scan. Begin scan. Begin scan. Land drop. Proximity alert. Shock. Shields recharging. Contact. Land drop. Ammo low. Shields recharging. Ammo evaded. Land drop. Begin scan. Shields on. Proximity